on the pipe. I could even sit on two pipes. Yes, that is on the pipe. It does accelerate faster than a 500 and has a lot more torque. People on the internet who have never ridden or owned any of these bikes, as I have, that say otherwise are morons. Plain and simple. Now, where I ride, you don't really have any place that you can load up a 700 or even a 500. However, I have put up some videos doing so up to third and fourth gear. I didn't have any place at all to even try to wind out fifth, and this is with my bike being much lower than stock, given the 12-tooth front sprocket. However, I don't know what people are expecting. Videos don't do anything justice. You really have to be there in person, and you really have to ride all these bikes firsthand to see the difference. Let's see that footage again. Now, most people think it's not being wound out all the way because they expect it to make some kind of high-pitched noise like this KX85. These big bores do not make any high-pitched noise. They sound more like a train with a very deep, very loud noise. The microphones are also not state-of-the-art. They aren't filming Avatar 2 with these microphones. There's no surround sound, and these aren't THX certified. They're small microphones that are muffled and don't pick up all the tones. If you're on the bike, you'd realize that these are redlining, and you would need to shift. Here is some footage that I took that is also previously posted online that shows the bike wide open up until fifth gear. I've added a counter and the estimated mile per hour for the beginning of each gear. Even though these videos exist, there is nothing that would ever satisfy the idiots online. You can make any bike look fast. Even a 125 with a good camera and great angles and editing can make it look really good. Just remember that everything looks slower, looks less steep, is more flattened out than in real life. So when you see terrain that looks very technical on camera, just remember it's actually 10 times worse in real life. Video is also blurred. You're seeing the bike at 30 frames per second, which typically means that each frame is a blur of motion, with the bike in several positions. And without proper perspective, you don't know the distance, depth, or size of anything in the video to know how far things really are. I've got some video here in slow motion that you can take a look at as well that does show some of the dirt flying up in the air as people have commented they wanted to see. Now, there are people online who will still comment not knowing what they're talking about. Take these comments, for example. They don't think that hill climbs and whatnot are a demonstration of the power of these bikes. They also criticize what others do with their own bikes, and remember, nothing stops them from buying these bikes and going quote-unquote wide open, as they claim they personally would do. So first, let's take a look at Mr. I'd Go Wide Open If I Had This Bike videos on his channel. Okay, so you'd basically just go wide open and hold it in second gear without ever shifting. Typically, I don't criticize anyone's riding. It's your bike. You can ride it however you want. Just like I bought my bike, and I can ride mine however I want. However, if you make stupid comments which are contrary to your own reality, you really look like an ass. Everyone who makes such comments, it's always the same thing. They either don't have any videos, or they have videos like that. So now let's take a look at so-called Dune Racer. So a 2-mile-per-hour crash, it happens. Well, maybe we'll see him go wide open throttle in some much easier flat terrain. Well, I guess not. But of course, very critical of what everyone else does with their bike. Let's see my footage again. Okay, so as I was saying before, hill climbs can showcase the power difference between bikes. A lot of people heavily complain about this because they don't have a clue about hill climbs. So let's demonstrate this by watching some 450s, a KTM 300, and just for fun, a KX85 all attempt the same hill climb.
I don't feel so bad. That's good. Not gonna happen. Damn it! So close. There's no way to get it from here though. No.
The 450s and the KTM 300 can actually make that hill climb, but as you can see, it's just not that easy. Let's see the MAICO 700 climb it and see how you can use the power to your advantage. Typically, idiots will comment something like, "You're going too slow, you should be on a 125. Obviously, they have no idea what they're talking about. Going slow uphill climbs like this is the advantage of having these bikes. The whole point is you have so much power, you don't need to unnecessarily go wide open like you would on a smaller bike. People live in opposite land where they think a 125 idles up hills, but you need to scream a 500 up a hill. It makes no sense. To figure out how fast something is going in a video, you really need a reference point. Typical bikes are 6 feet in length, and I figured out how many bike lengths you would need to travel in 1 second to determine the mile per hour. This is, of course, only works if you can clearly see another bike in a video and estimate how many bike lengths it traveled in a second. Or figured out where on the screen one bike length would be from the front of the front tire. As an example, if in 1 second you traveled 14 bike lengths, then you're going 57 miles per hour. And it would also mean that each frame in a 30 frames per second video, you would almost go half a bike length. So see how easy it is to actually figure that out in a video to claim how fast someone is going. It's not that easy. If you can figure out the distance, then you can estimate the mile per hour. Of course, it also depends on if you're seeing a camera from being mounted off of the bike where everything would be blurry, or if you're on the bike itself. Of course, you're still having the ground be blurred across the frames. So it's not that easy to figure out how fast you're going.